Hi, this is All This Science, the science podcast that describes an interesting aspect of science in 5 minutes or less. We're Anna, Federico, and Fanny, and we are the guest podcasters for this episode, and today we're going to talk about the physics behind roller coasters. Did you know that when you go to an amusement park and you're on a roller coaster, you're taking advantage of a lot of physics principles? So yeah, you can have fun and learn about physics at the same time.
A coaster is a type of amusement ride that employs a form of elevated railroad track designed with tight turns, steep slopes, and sometimes inversions.
Simply speaking, a roller coaster is a machine that uses gravity and inertia to send a train of cars along a winding track. This combination of gravity and inertia, along with g-forces and centripetal acceleration, gives the body certain sensation as the roller coaster moves up, down, and around the track.
The purpose of the coaster's initial ascent is to build up a sort of reservoir of potential energy. A concept of potential energy is very simple. As the coaster gets higher in the air, gravity can pull it down a greater distance. You experience this phenomenon all the time. Think about driving your car, riding your bike, or pulling your sled to the top of a big hill. The potential energy you build going up a hill can be released as kinetic energy, the energy of motion that takes you down the hill.
Once you start cruising down that first hill, gravity takes over and all the built-up potential energy changes to kinetic energy. Gravity applies a constant downward force on the cars. Centrifugal force is not a true force, but rather the result of an object's inertia or resistance to change in direction as the objects move in a circular path. The track's curve prevents the object from following the straight line it otherwise would by applying a force on it towards the center of the circle, forcing it to travel in a curved path instead. This centripetal force actually points towards the center of the circle, but a roller coaster rider experiences the sensation of the centrifugal force, a pseudo force pushing them towards the outer edge of the car. This sensation is actually the result of the rider's inertia.
What you may not realize as you're cruising down the track at 60 miles an hour is that the coaster has no engine. The car is pulled to the top of the first hill at the beginning of the ride, but after the coaster must complete the ride on its own. You are not being propelled around the track by a motor or pulled by a hitch. The conversion of potential energy to kinetic energy is what drives the roller coaster, and all of the kinetic energy you need for the ride is present once the coaster descends the first hill.
Did you know there are different types of wheels to help keep the ride smooth? Running wheels guide the coaster on a track. Friction wheels control the lateral motion which prevent movement to either side of the track, and a final set of wheels keep the coaster on the track even if it's inverted. As the ride ends, compressed air brakes stop the car.
Roller coasters can be wooden or steel and can be looping or not looping. You'll notice a big difference in the ride depending on the type of material used. In general, wooden coasters are not looping. They are also not as tall and not as fast, and they don't feature very steep hills or as long as the track as steel ones do. Wooden coasters do offer one advantage over steel coasters. Assuming you're looking for palm-sweating thrills, they sway a lot more. Tubular steel coasters allow more looping, higher and steeper hills, greater drops and rolls, and faster speeds.
So now that you know how roller coasters work and all the physics that's behind them, what are you waiting for? Go and experience it by yourself. That's all for today. Thank you for listening to All This Science. If you'd like to, contact us at allthisscience@gmail.com.